And as my obsession grew, I was saving body parts such as skulls and skeletons, and eventually I did turn to cannibalism.
Jeffrey Dahmer, the man who became one of the most infamous serial killers in modern history. Over 13 years, Dahmer preyed on 17 young men and boys, luring them into his deadly web, leaving a trail of unimaginable horror behind. Born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, on May 21, 1960, Jeffrey Lionel Dahmer seemed like any other child. But beneath his seemingly ordinary life, there were signs of trouble. He was fascinated by dead animals, dissecting them and collecting their bones, a dark hobby that alarmed those around him. Yet, no one could have predicted the monster he would become. It was 1978. Jeffrey had just graduated high school. He was 18 years old when he picked up his first victim, Stephen Hicks, an 18-year-old hitchhiker.
Because I was angry with them, not because I hated them, but because I wanted to keep them with me.
Jeffrey invited Stephen to his home for drinks. At first, things seemed normal. They laughed, talked, and listened to music. But when Stephen wanted to leave, Jeffrey couldn't let him go. Dahmer struck Stephen on the head with a dumbbell, killing him. He then dismembered Stephen's body and buried the remains in his backyard. It was the start of a 13-year killing spree. For nearly a decade, Dahmer didn't kill again, or so it seemed. He joined the army, served as a medic, and later returned to Milwaukee. But by 1987, his urges became too strong to resist. Dahmer's next victim was Stephen Cuomi, a 25-year-old. This time, Dahmer claimed he didn't even remember killing him. He woke up in a hotel room next to Stephen's lifeless body. What followed was a horrifying ritual that Dahmer would repeat with almost all his victims. He dismembered the body, kept certain parts, and disposed of the rest. From 1987 to 1991, Dahmer murdered 16 more young men and boys, including James Dox Taylor, 14 years old, Anthony Sears, 24 years old, Errol Lindsay, 19 years old, Konarak Sinthasaphone, just 14 years old, and all others. Each was lured to Dahmer's apartment with promises of money, companionship, or photographs. Once inside, they were drugged, assaulted, and killed. July 22, 1991. Tracy Edwards, a 32-year-old man, escaped from Dahmer's apartment and flagged down police.
Okay, hi, I'm on 25th and State, and this is young man. He is butt naked. He has been beaten up. He's very bruised up. He can't stand. He's study fall out. He is butt naked. He has no clothes on. He was really hurt. And I ain't got no corner on him. I just seen him, and he needs some help.
Where's he at?
On 25th and State, the corner of 25th.
His hands were cuffed, his face terrified. He told officers he'd narrowly escaped being killed. What they found was beyond comprehension. A 57-gallon drum filled with torsos dissolving in acid, 4 severed heads in the kitchen, 7 skulls in the bedroom, and, in the refrigerator, 2 human hearts and a collection of body parts. Dahmer later confessed to killing 17 victims. He described each crime in chilling detail, showing no remorse.
I did them, but because I wanted to keep them with me. And as my obsession grew, I was saving body parts such as skulls and skeletons, and eventually I did turn to cannibalism.
One of the most heartbreaking moments in this case was the death of 14-year-old Konarak Sinthasaphone.
He started quickly. They told him he was a friend who gets drunk. He was not wanting to go back, so one officer grabbed him by this arm, another officer grabbed him on the other arm, and they walked him out of the apartment. And they left. That's when I gave the second kicking.
Right away? How long did it take from the guy?
And that was immediate.
Konarak escaped from Dahmer's apartment, drugged and naked, and was found by neighbors. But when police arrived, Dahmer convinced them that Konarak was his 19-year-old boyfriend.
The intoxicated boyfriend of another boyfriend.
Well, how old was this child?
It wasn't a child, it was an adult.
The intoxicated Asian naked male was returned to his sober boyfriend, and we're at 8.
The officers handed the boy back to Dahmer. Hours later, Konarak was murdered. The police failed Konarak. Their actions or inaction cost him his life. In 1992, Jeffrey Dahmer was sentenced to 15 consecutive life terms. During his trial, families of the victims gave heartbreaking statements. Dahmer himself apologized, saying he wished he could die for his crimes. But justice was about to catch up with him in an unexpected way. On November 28, 1994, while serving his sentence at Columbia Correctional Institution, Dahmer was attacked by fellow inmate Christopher Scarver. Scarver struck Dahmer with a metal bar, killing him. Scarver later said he was disgusted by Dahmer's crimes and behavior in prison. With Dahmer's death, the world breathed a sigh of relief, but the pain of his crimes lingers, especially for the families of his victims. Jeffrey Dahmer's story is not just about a killer. It's about the lives he stole. These were people with families, dreams, and futures that were tragically cut short. Today we remember Stephen Hicks, Stephen Tuomi, James Dox Taylor, Richard Guerrero, Anthony Sears, Errol Lindsay, Tony Hughes, Karak Sinafasanafan, and many more. Dahmer's case forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about society, about the victims we overlook, the systems that fail, and the darkness that can lurk in the most unexpected places. May we never forget these lessons or the lives lost.